This is trip 8 to Williams site.
And that's huge. That's 140 acres.
Kind of weak, but the numbers are good.
Draw pull, watch winder. There's a better look at it.
Well, that's it. It's time to close the era of this part of Not Thursday for working Williams site for some time. All right, well, here we go, everybody. This is trip 8 to Williams site. It's been a month since myself and Damien were out here and we dug out a corner of the lip of the cellar hole. And I'll tell you, what a difference the seasonal change makes. Even my approach, things look so much different with all this greenery growing in. So I'm out here probably for the last time in some time, because in the summer it's just going to be pretty bad out here, and I think we've done a good job on this site. So today what I'm going to do is, being that it's such a small site, see that rock wall? A little squared in area up here. So I just want to swing my detector in here, but also just really get a good feel for the walls and map it out. And then over on this side, before it goes down into the deep gorge, same thing. Take a look around, swing, and see what happens. Site's looking really good and clean since Dame and I were here, and I'm looking forward to this bit of survey and detecting kind of video. Now see, taking the time to come out here and specifically do this, I made a discovery. Finally found the wagon path, the cart path that they took to get in here. That goes right to the hole, and then behind me, if it keeps going, goes out to the nearest established road. It's definitely embanked on both sides, and cool, that's something more for me to doodle on my map, these little bits of information. Wow, and see, coming over here directly to the other side, it just goes down. This home site did not have much of a plateau. That's actually where I came up from that first day we found the place. And then just up in here. Living space was small. Alright, well, I've been orbiting for quite some time. I'm back near the chimney stack. I finally got a signal. Kind of weak, but the numbers are good. Interesting, but not surprising, thinking as I'm walking around that pretty much, I think almost everything that came out of this site for relics was inside the immediate living space. I don't think we found anything more than 30 feet out from where the house was. Not that this guy had too much good land anyways, but obviously he spent time cleaning the land and building the massive square around it. But here I am, once again back, circling the cellar hole. If we can get one more relic out of here for the end of this duration of working the site, that'll be great. What we'll do is we'll go back to the shack after I'm done here, and we'll do a review of everything that's come out of the site, just like we did with the cellar hole that waited. Yep. Pewter button. Awesome. I didn't think we were going to find anything today, to be honest with you. Is there USA on it? Negative. Alright. It's been some long time. We got the one button, one big chunk of bean pot, and one oxen shoe. So I think we have done a very thorough job here. I'm going to let it rest for a while, let the ground do its thing, and we'll come back sometime in the distant future. There's a signal. Right there that myself, George, and Dame have attempted, but between the ground being frozen early spring, filling up with water, mud season, it had been abandoned several times. So unless it's completely under the roots of this tree, I'm going to attempt to get it out, and this may suck. Boy, it sounds close, but I'm dealing with this massive root. It's not coming out. I'm 14 inches in the ground, which means the machine makes it sound that good. It's big. And I've got a 2-inch window in between the roots. Well, the world will never know. We'll leave that for somebody in a couple hundred years to come out. Holy cow. Well, that's it. It's time to close the era of this part of Not Thursday for Working Williams site for some time. It's always kind of a sad thing. All these sites have their own characteristics, and when you've got the history of the place in here, it really sets the tone for when you're out here searching for relics. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the shack. We're going to do an overview on what's come out of here, show you the doodle of my map, and if I can give you any more info on the place, I certainly will. So I gotta go get coffee, and then we'll be back at the shack to wrap it up. Alright, so let me give you a little bit of info on the site. We've been working for, well, about 6 weeks. That site, which was owned by a guy named William, he was not the original owner of that property who it had been granted to. We don't know if the first guy actually settled upon it. Can't find that information. But I can tell you that that lot, plus the other 2 squares that we did that hike a few weeks back, were all part of the same property. And in 1772, William sold that 140 acres for 140 pounds. And then the list goes on of the owners of the property pretty much up until current day, but no mention of anybody else living on that site. So that's pretty interesting. So I've got everything out on the bench. We'll show you what we have dug over the past 8 trips combined for myself, George, and Dame. So we got a few oxen shoes. This stuff we always take. It's handmade. It's a relic. Part of the big picture. Some bean pot, some iron bits, that thing. Simon, do you know what that is? Simon in Scotland, our brother, is extremely good at identifying things. Sean G, I believe it was, wanted to see this piece close up that Damien had dug. It's iron. Definitely served purpose. It's hammered on this side. And something was broken off there. So there's a better look at it. Some pewter spoons, couple knives, several baby spoons, and other spoon pieces. Oh, there's a button that got away. All the shards and glass that Dame and I dug out of the lip. All the little broken shoe buckle pieces that were all inside the footprint of the cellar hole. My Connecticut copper, and then George and Dame both dug King George II coppers. Draw pull, watch winder, and then we have 11 buttons. So there you have it. And it may not seem like a mountain of stuff compared to some sites or what appears to come out of a site, but in actuality, that's a lot of targets, and that's a lot of stuff recovered for an early settler site. These people did not have much, and from what I'm guessing, the window of them being there was probably inside of a couple decades. So I'm proud of what we got out of there to be preserved, be donated. Oh yeah, let me show you my little doodle. So see, when I draw things out like this, it does not need to be accurate down to the inch or anything. The main part is obviously the walls define the area. The living space, like I said, there's that little cart path we discovered today. There's only a little bit of wall out there, and then the cellar, and then there's a cart path that goes up to that big flat area. That's it, and that's huge. That's 140 acres, so you can imagine what it's like going out there. Now, 200 years after it's been abandoned, reforested, probably cut twice. It's like being out in the, it's like being under the water out in the ocean trying to find anything. Speaking of Simon, Simon is a patron to SDNT. and has been a great buddy for many years, and many times he's actually identified quite a few things. So thank you, Simon. He pointed this out when I did the overview of the cellar hole that waited, because I had no idea what it was, and a lot of people had many random guesses. But what it is, it's a draw pull plate. So instead of the draw pull being anchored into the wood, this would go over it, and then the draw pull would hang here. That's awesome. I had no idea. First one I've dug like that. So again, thank you, Simon. The relics, my doodle, go into a box, will end up in the hands of the right people. That's more than enough information for what we can do and what we need to do. Me personally, I like hand-drawn maps. I've gotten more and better information from doodles that people did 100 years ago than anything else. So I've always had a thing for hand-drawn maps. Anyways, I gotta go. We'll see you all soon. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, commenting, and until next time, enjoy your Not Thursday.